Starting 23rd on the grid, it's car number 26 for Darren Mendito from Brooklyn. It's a Darren's Electrical Services, Dawn's Design, Terry's Transmissions Buick.
At the wheel of the 83X, ladies and gentlemen, Ed Gertz Jr. out of West Haven in the Shoreline Compressed Gas Malibu.
Starting 25th on the grid, it's car number 65 for Eric Edgerly from Ashaway, Rhode Island. It's Glorious Cakes, Mark's Auto Center, Iago Printing Service Malibu.
In the 33, Chuck Rogers out of Norwich. Pace car onto the infield, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the field off of turn number 4. Tony lets the green flag fly down into turn number 1. Here we go. Mr. Cook in the number 1 car pulls it out. Scotty Cook out of Waterford. Replay one more time as these guys do battle for the feature in the Strictly Stocks. Down into turn number 1. The 21X following behind, sliding it hard. Coming out of turn number 4, losing a bit of momentum on Cook, and Cook pulls it at the line.
44 of Russ Holly sitting in that 3rd position. Still up in front, it's the 1 of Cook, Chris Moser, and the 21X, Charlie running 2nd. 3rd position is the 44 of Russ Holly. Running 4th, that's car number 63 for Jeff Cook. He's out of Bristol. Right behind them, it's 3 wide through the turns. Paul Dorothy down low. The 87X of John Pollard sliding up the speedway just a little bit. That allows the 40 of Dorothy to drop right down on the low side. Side by side down the backstretch. Dorothy hammering that car down into the turns.
Belisle lining up that 63 to make a pass on him as he holds him up, going down into turn number 1. And back now, car spinning down onto the infield. It's the 66 car. Keep your eyes on the 66 of Rob Losniak out of Westport. Backs it around onto the infield. Now we got cars collected up in between turns 1 and 2. One car onto the infield, another car.
The 50X of Mike Caprio pulling directly across the speedway onto the infield. Doesn't have all the lug nuts on that automobile.
Of course, folks, you need all you can get here to run at the Waterford Speedbowl. Oh yeah, I'd say there's some lug nuts loose on that 50. That's some kind of special adjustment he has to turn left.
Where it is, he's got a bent, crushed right front upper A-frame.
Bent is a very mild word for
yeah.
that. Tough break for him as they get ready to send this field down into turn number 1. Tony keeps an eye on Cook. Cook gets the green flag. He's away, but Kuehne is now trying to challenge him on the outside. Here comes Belisle downtown. Let these boys do battle a little bit, see where he can go, but the pressure's being put on him by the 44 car of Holly. Holly out of Mystic, trying to keep himself right up front with these front runners.
Got a bid for the lead. The 38 of Bud Kuehne working around the high side of the 1 of Cook. Kuehne pulls it off. On that start, he had trouble getting it in gear. You can see him slamming the shifter back and forth, but the power does prevail. Bud Kuehne comes out on top. Scott Cook falls back to 2nd. Now he's starting to feel the pressure of the 50L. That's Louis Belisle. 44 of Russ Holly, John Pollard, Johnny Gambino side by side for that 6th position. And here comes the 27X of Eddie Reed trying to make his way to the front.
Reed trying to drive right through the back of the 7 car of Gambino. These guys aren't going fast enough, so he figured it'd help him along, trying to pick up the position. Now the 7 goes up on the outside. There he goes, rim riding off of turn 4. Gambino down the front stretch, makes the position, down into turn 1, shuts the door on a 44 car. Hanging tough though, staying out of trouble is Holly. Now we got cars slipping and sliding all the way through the back of the pack, making some moves. The 27X of Reed up on the high side of the 44, hanging down low, not the place to be. Here comes Holly, but the Reed machine is on fire, slices down right in front of him, going down into turn number 1. Cook now starting to go backwards just a little bit. Must have used up lots of motor or tires. He's not doing too well right now as we watch the field come around. Here comes Kuehne off of 4 at the stripe. He's leading this thing with 8 laps to go.
Bud Kuehne out just kind of driving around. Problems coming off at turn 4. Rob Losniak and the 47 of Ted Chafee coming together. The field scrambles. You can see Edgerly making a trip through the infield. Everybody does continue in the right direction as we remain under green flag conditions. Still up in front, it's a 38 of Kuehne, but here comes that 27X of Eddie Reed Jr. He started back in 18th, now making a bid for 2nd underneath the 7 of Johnny Gambino. They bump and touch through the turns. power down the straightaways. Reed's starting to edge ahead just a little bit. Gambino slowly losing ground in the number 7 up on the high side. At the stripe, it's the 27X of Eddie Reed taking over second place. Now sets his sights on the 38 of Kuehne.
All right, Kuehne's got about 12 car lengths over the second place 27X of Reed. Reed Jr. hanging tough with Gambino to 7. Right behind him is Belial. Belial does not seem to be able to reel these front runners in, but he's hanging in that 4th spot with 4 laps to go on the board, ladies and gentlemen. Down into turn number 2. There's Kuehne out in the 38. Right behind him, the 27X of Reed Jr. Now the 7 of Gambino tries to close it up in between 3 and 4. Lots of pressure on Gambino now to catch up. Doesn't seem to have the juice or the handle going between the turns. The 27X is trying to reel in Kuehne, but nothing doing, folks. He's got too much of a lead as he comes by the stripe. Next time by, 2 laps to go. Twin popsicle sticks displayed by Tony Lucky in the starting stand for Kuehne. Bud Kuehne out of Clinton in the Van Court Management Oldsmobile at the stripe. Take us home, MG.
To the 38 of Kuehne, Bud very comfortable up in the lead. One hand on the wheel, one hand up on the roll bar, just kind of cruising around out in front. Eddie Reed trying his hardest to reel him in. He's pushing that number 27X as hard as it will go. White flag this time by for Bud Kuehne. Eddie Reed still trying to get more power out of that car. He may run out of time. They only have a half a lap left to the checker.
All right, Kuehne's throttling down the backstretch. Here comes Reed trying to close up the gap. Could this be a turn 4 effort for the 27X? Nothing doing across the stripe. It's going to be Bud Kuehne out of Clinton in the 38, taking the strictly stock feature here at the Waterford Speedbowl. The rest of the field thunders off of turn 4, gambling for position, trying to make the points here at the Waterford Speedbowl. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming into the winner's circle for the Strictly Stocks. All right, folks, there is your Strictly Stock winner, Bud Kuehne out of Clinton in the Van Court Management, Schumack Construction, Aronson Auto Body, Cliffs Garage, Ray's Welding, Custom Emergency Vehicles, Engine by Topper, Oldsmobile. Let's give it up for Bud Kuehne out of Clinton. All right, let's send it now down the trackside with MG Gear. MG, get over there and talk to that man.
Bud, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Bud, you're looking pretty comfortable. One hand on the wheel, one hand up on the roll bar. Looks like you're out just cruising around.
Well, I always drove like that. Last year I used to hold on to the bar by the seat. You couldn't see my arm. Now we put that other bar in, and that's where I hang on all the time now.
So how was it running tonight's race? Tough battle for you?
Actually, it was kind of easy, you know? And then I saw Eddie coming up the last few laps, and I just didn't want to mess up. Just keep it through the turns. Yeah, Van Court Management, Schumack's Construction, Cliffs Garage, Ray's Welding, everybody that helps out.
A lot of people, a lot of support on this automobile, taking it home to victory lane. Now, Bud, you're at the top of the point standings, correct?
Yes, I am.
So what's this? You're in the points battle. You're going for the championship?
Well, that's what we're trying to do, but it's still too early yet.
So still too close to call. Only about halfway through the season, Bud Kuehne's sitting on top of the points, picking up another win for 1995.